What's this, a 1C entertainment game? Yeah, you probably thought it was gonna be Wrath, Aeon of Ruin, but don't worry, my Dark Places Prince. I'll be ruination dashing with you soon. Viscerafest, a new addition to the arena shooter / boomer shooter renaissance that, oh my god, that is a lot of vibrant neon, and I'm all here for it. First impressions can be everything, and mine are telling me that this game is going to have a strong sense of identity, and that feeling never really went away during its first chapter, which we'll be talking about today. The parallax on the title screen is pretty neat, ignoring the pleasant nod to the classic Doom box art, not a bad thing at all, but look at this guy off to the side here. I can't tell if he's a giant watching down on the whole thing, or if he's really close to the camera like he's telling the player, dude, do you see this shit? Kinda like this egg from Action Comics #1. I went with hard difficulty for this recorded run. It felt just right for me personally. Maybe when future chapters drop, I'll review them on brutal or higher difficulties, but I'll be talking about that more in a bit. But I will say that I started my first playthrough on the brutal difficulty, and wow, so here's the gist. You play as Carolyn, a mercenary bounty hunter wanting to propose to her boyfriend, but she needs the cash to do so, taking a bounty on an intergalactic warlock named Cromune, who's set to arrive on a low-orbit station above the Earth. So, as Carolyn puts it, the plan is simple. Break in, kill the target, collect her pay just in time for date night, and boy, she's a little on the crazy side. She's essentially Samus if she lived in society, and joining the cast of Carolyns in a first-person game that aren't exactly all there in the head after being experimented on against their will.
Now, let's get this bloodbath started.
Great voice acting too, and thank God for that. Carolyn is going to be quipping a lot, akin to some older build engine games, which I was worried was going to get a bit annoying. I'll be honest, a lot of quips from Duke or Wang really got on my nerves when playing Duke or Shadow Warrior. I think the only quipping FPS hero I've actively loved was Caleb from Blood.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
But Carolyn, she's pretty good.
Let's get this show on the road.
Just crazy enough to break out the pop culture references without it becoming grating. The tutorial does a good job at familiarizing yourself with the gameplay, which I'll say off the bat doesn't exactly try anything new or crazy, at least in this current build, but what it does do is handled quite well. The game actively encourages bunny hopping, something which I admit got a bit addicting and became my primary method of traversing environments, along with the dash, which, oh boy, I'll be talking about more in a minute. Like other arena shooters, you start off with a standard pistol, which for me remained useful up until the end of the chapter. At least for clearing out these lower tier monsters.
Mind if I join you, boys?
Even in gameplay, you get familiarized with the game's premise and sense of humor fairly quick. These alien grunts who sound comically like the droids from the Star Wars prequels, they each beg for their life the minute they see you, or, even better,
Oh, crap.
never gets old, especially with a well-timed melee. Oh, yeah, this game is gonna put a big emphasis on melee, outright telling you that you're gonna have a hard time if you don't juggle ammo and melee throughout your adventure, delivered either as a 3-hit combo or a charged melee that you can use by holding down the melee button, capable of one-shotting this game's pinky equivalents, the Thunderbirds. Ammo is intentionally scarce compared to some other games of the genre, and after a bit of playing, you'll start to realize that the game seems to be taking a note from Doom Eternal, though I'm not sure if that's intentional. Ammo is scarce, heavily dependent on how you use your weapons and balance your resources, though unlike Eternal, you don't exactly have a free ammo button, though you do get health back from the monsters you kill, assuming that they're gibbed. And if you're really aching for some extra health points, you can violate the Geneva Convention and desecrate the dead for some easy health if you need it. But yeah, this game can get brutally difficult, no pun intended, so no fist parade for you unless you're going in on an easier difficulty. Yeah, Carolyn's not only kind of crazy, but also eats living hearts to heal herself, so that's kind of cool. She's not exactly human. I mean, look at that mouth. If she was human, she's not anymore. Though to be fair, Caleb did the same thing, though I wouldn't exactly say that either of these two are more sane than the other. And in a blink you miss it sort of moment, the game determines that this whiny voice you've been hearing over the intercom is indeed Cromune, Carolyn's target, who seems to be stuck in his own B-plot, requesting aid from the station.
Dr. Ortiz, this is Cromune. We've lost contact with the other facilities, and our scout drones have not yet returned.
This is Ortiz. The squad and I will be coming to aid you within an hour.
I didn't realize that this was supposed to be Cromune at first, until the ending, I'll be honest. Oh, that's pretty neat. I always appreciate the Quake-style episode hub. Sadly, there's not really much here except for the episode select at the moment, but there is promise of a bestiary and a credit redeeming system for all of these Scullies I've been picking up. I'm looking forward to that, though until then, all of these Scullies are just pointless collector fodder. And yes, you might have noticed, Cromune is indeed voiced by Ultrakill's Gabriel. Hey Gianni, I hope you can narrate my decline as a human being someday. Oh boy, save beacons. What is this, Daikatana? I actually don't mind these. I kind of like how they're implemented, though this is a mechanic I would easily forget about if I'm being honest. And to circumvent this, I would immediately plant them down when I pick them up, treating them like checkpoints. I know I probably would have had an easier time in the game if I didn't do this, but this was my own choice and I accept the consequences. Though I felt like this kind of aided the pacing of the game for me, and if a part of the game was killing me over and over to send me back to my own checkpoint, I felt like it only helped me get better at the game. And honestly, the Daikatana reference is just for shock value. I gotta make sure I'm meeting my yearly quota of mentioning John Romero's bastard child.
Intruder.
Ah, shredders. A lot like the shredders from Proteus. They take from the same ammo pool as your pistol, but with much higher DPS, though much lower damage per bullet. And it's for this reason that I deliberately chose to rarely use this item, as the pistol was more accurate and reliable with how scarce ammo could be. It just felt like it fit my playstyle better, and I only found myself using the shredders against some of the heavier enemies in hopes of stun locking, which only sometimes worked. By level 3, we've got these little objectives in the corner, a lot like the secondary objectives from Quake 2 and 4. Here we gotta find a power core to open up the way out of here, but not before meeting the enforcers. Tall, tanky, and powerful, these gals fire a barrage of plasma to keep you moving, and after her, you're rewarded with the game's shotgun, the Bunker Buster, and it's fine. I really like the animations on it, the flarings that come out to reload and cool between each shot, I like it a lot. It's definitely not bad by any means, just nothing really to write home about. You can also find this game's rocket launcher, the Pung Cannon, behind this stack of blocks. I'm guessing it's more of a hybrid between a railgun and a rocket launcher than anything. If the projectile makes direct contact with an enemy, it doesn't explode but deals heavy damage, only exploding if it hits a surface like a wall or floor and dealing splash damage, which I do like the idea of, but also can get a bit irritating. Look, sometimes I'll try to fire at the floor to deal damage to nearby enemies, but if that enemy is a Thunderbird, sometimes they just take the blast, negating intended splash damage. I understand what they're going for here. It is a fun weapon to use, I just wish I had a tad more control over its detonation. This thing will also be your secret hunter. Sometimes you'll find cracks in the walls that, to my understanding, need the Pung Cannon to be blasted open. But again, because of the scarcity of ammo, I got cucked out of a couple of secrets, and there's no easy way to get ammo back. You're at the mercy of the drops left around the level, which at times can get kind of annoying. Now, you might be looking at this gameplay here and saying, Trav guy, how come you're not using that dash you mentioned? I can see it at the bottom right of your screen, and you're right, there is a dash, but I wasn't initially all that impressed with it. There is one saving grace of the dash that honestly really should be in this little tutorial message here, because otherwise I would have used this thing way more when I recorded my main run. Alright, let's talk about this for a minute. You see, I am a dumbass, and in my dumbassery, they have gone and corrected this in the future. I am Travis from the future. I come to you on my green screen to tell you that I am a dumbass. Alright, so it's June 2nd, they just updated the game, and I had this bit here where I complained about the dash not telling you enough in this tutorial message, but since then they have corrected this in this update that just came out today, and this is awesome. You know, it communicates to the player, it's great, there's nothing wrong with this. However, I have to cut out a chunk of this video, and keep in mind that after this bit, we're going back to my voiceover that I had done roughly 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I don't remember, time is a human construct, so keep in mind that they did fix this. This is awesome, I'm here to correct that record, but later on I talk about the dash again, and that is from the perspective of someone who didn't really know this. Bye, I love you. Dashing gives you invincibility frames, giving you a quick, rechargeable way to run into or away from battle to deliver a jibbing blow and get your health back. That is an awesome idea for a mechanic, which became a ton of fun to use once I knew about it, but I didn't, because that little tutorial message at the beginning doesn't tell you this. Honestly, the movement of the dash does leave a bit to be desired, so I wasn't that impressed with it and didn't think that using it would be any more beneficial than just bunny hopping around. If they're able to communicate this to the player better in the future, then fuck it, that's awesome. Alright, let's get that power core installed. I'm not sure if I love or hate that it's a flat texture on the wall, but okay, let's just get a move on.
Are you blind?
We meet the Grenadiers here, mostly stationary aliens that lob grenades at you. Think the ogres from Quake, complete with that incredibly satisfying grenade bouncing sound, and boy, you're gonna be hearing it a lot in these later levels. Worst thing I can say about these enemies is that you never get a grenade launcher like theirs, which I think is overall a compliment to them, at least in this current build. These guys are expectedly more difficult on harder difficulties. It feels like they even lead their shots a bit, forcing you to weave around them, which is fine, I think that's pretty cool. Oh god, are those my legs? Holy shit, I think it's already weird enough seeing my legs in an FPS that's 3D, but an FPS using sprites? That's kind of hilarious. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a human head. Was this station taken over by aliens, or were they working with humans? Oh, what the fuck? I wonder if this guy will get his own VR spin-off. Fucking wallhead. Alright, Disposable Danger. This is the level that made me switch the difficulty off of brutal down to hard. Though, again, I had no idea that dashing gave you iframes. I'll come back and give it another shot some other day. But here on hard, it's actually quite the fun challenge, culminating in introducing you to the Blitzers, beefy unicycle drones equipped with scatterguns, and can really take a beating. Diagnosis is a couple of pung cannon shots or a flurry of shotgun pellets. What the fuck?
She's in the incinerator. Flood the room.
Wait, what was that about an incinerator? Oh god, this bit really fucked me up at first. I couldn't understand the guy on the intercom and didn't notice the lava until it hit. Oops. It's a fun sequence, certainly memorable, though sometimes grabbing a ladder can be a bit awkward as you only ascend when holding the jump button rather than looking up or down. It's not a problem, it just took some time to get used to. Oh, Slipgate Central. Now that's a fun term I haven't heard in a minute. Alright, where's these Slipgates at? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Alright, let's forget that happened. Oh my god, the music here. Alright, so I've known about Marky Music for a while from his contributions to the Doom mod Quake Champions Doom Edition, which introduced me to his incredible cover of Infuscomus from Blood. I don't know if I said that right. And his unrelated Quake covers and themes inspired by Quake Champions with an absolutely insane medley for Quake 2 for the character Strogg and Peeker. Seriously, this dude's work is insane. Back when Mick Gordon was dropped from Doom Eternal, I really thought that this guy had a chance of becoming his successor. And while that didn't happen, I am happy to see that he's still getting work in the indie FPS scene. And I hope that we'll see more from him in the future. He did also do the sound design for Viscerafest, which is fucking nuts, by the way. The sound design in this game is incredible and does a great job at conveying information to the player in a coherent way, while also standing out and just sounding fucking good.
Oh, baby, let's make a mess together.
God damn, what is with all of these indie shooters putting extra barrels on their shotgun? I mean, I'm not complaining in the slightest, and the Deus Mortis is fucking amazing, capable of one-shotting these blitzers if you're at the right distance, and it was at this point that I became completely hooked. All of the weapons came together so well at this point that the combat dance really started to take form. Though this jump, I don't know what's up with this jump. Is what I said completely forgetting I had a dash in this moment? Yeah, sorry, I had a smooth brain moment here, and I was certain that I needed to bunny hop across. That's my fault. I don't know why I thought this, but I did it. It took me a while. Don't be like me. Alright, I've made it. Oh god, what is that? Stalkers, Viscerafest's Vors, firing a homing explosive that is, at the very least, kind enough to make a beeping sound to alert you to its presence. Though the sort of Doppler effect on its audio made me think that it was about to blow up, so I kept bunny hopping around in circles even after the stalker was already killed to avoid it before I realized I needed to make it hit a wall. Yeah, I'm not exactly the brightest today, I'll be the first to admit that, but they're cool. I like their floating limbs. I'm a sucker for this kind of design. Good colors too.
Don't touch anything. That is an extremely early prototype, and it is immeasurably unstable. Activating it could tear the station apart.
Oh, well, we wouldn't want that now, would we?
Carolyn reaches the slipgate and is warned that the slipgate is still in a prototype stage and that activating it could risk tearing the station apart, where Carolyn expectedly reacts with an alright bet, sending a chunk of the station along with Carolyn to... where the fuck am I? Are those jellyfish? Oh my lord, what the fuck? Ow! Okay, I sacrificed the sacrifice. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. Gotta say, these mid-air controls are pretty tight. So tight, in fact, that when I tried to correct my jump, I stopped in the air and fell to my death, so that's pretty cool. Time to sacrifice the babies again. Oh, stop it! Whoa, alright, handles. Can move some pillars around, that's kinda neat. It's mostly just used for puzzle solving right now, but I can see some potential use for this for puzzles and platforming in the future. Fingers crossed, at least. Hey, come on, Carolyn. I get tired of puzzles too, but come on, that's a bit extreme. Though I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to pass out on some of the Death Stranding. But oh no, this is a flashback scene, at least I think, teasing Carolyn of becoming a victim of some kind of space cult, though the details are left vague, intentionally so. And damn it, I admit, I'm already sold. I want to see where this goes. But for now, I just gotta figure out where the fuck I gotta go. Okay, I want to get out of here. Fucking hell, I can't even shoot them. Or okay, I'm not supposed to be able to shoot them.
You know, many a strange folk pass by here, but yours was certainly not a face I was expecting to see.
Oh man, I love trippy moments in games like this. This is another part where I knew that Viscerafest had hooked me. Oh my god, that's just Quake. I'm not saying its real name for obvious reasons. Alright, well, back to the station. What's left of it anyway. Let the slaughter continue, I guess.
Back to it, I suppose.
Oh, what's that guy doing in there? Is he friendly? I don't see a bold outline. Maybe he's an item. Nope, he's an asshole. I repeat, he is an asshole. Drones, completely invulnerable unless they're firing. But as a bit of a silver lining, if you hit them during their windup, you can effectively stun lock them. Practically impossible when you're surrounded by other monsters, so I assume that they're meant to be support for other enemies. But when you're just one-on-one...
Nothing like a little blood money. Pretty sure this sucker isn't legal, but...
What the fuck? A plague rifle? A cool weapon, but holy shit, that's almost as bad as Batman's cancer ray. It's essentially chip damage the gun. You hit a tankier enemy to tag him and then blast him with your other weapons in the meantime. It adds to the sort of combat dance that Viscerafest has going on. I namely used it for stalkers. It never really crossed my mind to use it on drones. Maybe because a machine would inherently be immune to the plague, but okay, well, never mind. Tell that to the fucking flood. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. Moving a pillar for platforming? Too bad we're right next to the boss in the end of the chapter. I want to see more of this, damn it. And yeah, we're coming up against the first real boss of Viscerafest, and the game directly tells us that we're not able to save in the middle of the fight. You gotta fight this whole thing head on, from beginning to end, and if you die, you gotta start over. And you know what? I respect that.
Jeez, this is Carolyn. Our facility's been completely overrun. We don't have much time. I'll be heading to the...
Looks like Cramion is in a bit of a pickle too, with his ship exploding over the intercom. Fucker better still be alive. I still gotta get my engagement ring, asshole. He deserves this, damn it! Alright, this looks like a boss arena if I've ever seen one.
Are you satisfied yet? Was it worth it? Over a year's work down the drain because of your blundering and sadism. I've had more than enough of your stupidity for one day, so I've prepared something special just for you.
Oh, honey, I didn't know you cared so much.
Why, you inexorable? We are dealing with an entity. Why, you vacuous, thick-headed...
Alright, I admit I didn't think that would work, and I really wish I could have heard the rest of that speech, but oh god, hello. The Elder Banshee, a tough boss, but quite fun. Though I am biased, I am a sucker for this sort of organic supercomputer weapon hooked up to machines like this. Mother Brain is another example that comes to mind. I fucking love Metroid. She'll remain stationary for the fight, summoning laser gates, turrets, and firing projectiles. And man, I love this health bar up here, using red, orange, and green to indicate how many phases are left in this fight, with these silhouettes of pickups slowly filling up so that you know where the pickups are going to be before they're there, and letting you plan out how you want to approach the fight. And then she uses these like summoning circles that explode, reminding me a lot of Doom 2016 Cyberdemon. It's got it all. The only attack that really gave me trouble was the spread of bubbles that she does during the last phase, but aside from that, this was a super fun fight. It took me about 10 minutes to finally beat the Elder Banshee, but every time I died, I felt like I knew what I did wrong and I knew how to fix it. This was a good boss fight, and I can only hope that the rest of the bosses are this good and that this isn't a Quake situation where this is only one of 2 bosses in the entire campaign. And yes, I know, the music is fucking amazing.
This is not a charade. Sayonara, scumbag.
Facility integrity critical. Evacuate immediately.
Oh, yeah. Right.
God damn it, I guess it's not a bounty hunter game unless we pull a Samus Aran. Now get out of the damn way.
Hold out on me, baby.
And with that, Chapter 1 of Viscerafest comes to an end. With Chromium, Carolyn's bounty target, waking up in that other dimension we dabbled in earlier, being approached by... I don't know, Jeff Bezos? He's got the eyes and grin that Carolyn has. He talks about a ritual, so I'm pretty sure that he's at least somewhat responsible for Carolyn's transmogrification into whatever the hell she is now. I thought maybe he was her dad at first or something, but again, details are vague. So we'll learn more as the game goes on, and oh boy, I can't say I'm not excited to see where this project goes.